Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Facebook Live this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Apologies for being a few minutes late. I had a coughing fit just at the wrong time, or maybe just at the right time, so I had to make sure I wasn't going to start coughing. So I had a drink of water and hopefully we're all good to go. Morning, Kerry. I hope you're well, or I should say evening to you, as you are in Australia, I believe. So today I thought we'd do something different. We did a bit of Christmas last week, and that's what I'll be using for the last of my coffee and card sessions on today. And so this week I thought I'd use a new stamp set to me. I bought it recently. It's in the annual catalogue and it's called, as you can see, Hats Off. And this is perfect for lots of different occasions. Oh, it's good for men, boys, girls, football supporters, Cub Scouts, anywhere really where you would wear, or they would wear, one of these hats. Hi Jeanette, hi Louise. It's Monday night for Kerry, oh bless you. So I haven't used this one before. It does have a set of fabulous dies that go with it, that do all the stitching around the hat, and it cuts out obviously the hat and also these emblems here that you can add on. Obviously you could put your own little messages on the front of the cap. It does have some sentiments that go with it that says, "You're the best, here's to the next adventure, to the guy that wears many hats, go get 'em tiger," and there's a picture of a tiger there, and then "I'm your #1 fan." And then we also have these here. So life is great, we've got a sunrise or sunset. Dad, we've got a mountain scene. #1, go team, the tiger, and then a little rocket. So a really nice combination. So what I'm going to do is my usual trick, morning Catherine, of stamping everything out so that you can see it. Now the hat has this little line that comes down, you can see that on there, so that these elements can fit within it. Okay, so as I say, there are dies, so I'm going to be using those later in the week, but for today I'm just going to do some straight stamping, and this will be the design that we use for this week's coffee and card. So I'm just going to stamp on this sheet of basic white card, and I'm probably going to use, I might use Pacific Point just for a change. I normally use Night of Navy or Early Espresso, as you know, but I think I'm going to use Pacific Point. I was just looking for a stamping mat. Okay. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. So let's start with the main image here. And what is nice about this image is obviously it's photopolymer, so it makes it easy to line up. But also they've cut out these pieces here. So for those of you that struggle, if you're pressing too hard on an ink pad and you pick up ink in the middle, this has got the middle cut out. Now because of that, what you really need to do is make sure you lay it down so that it's in its resting position, for want of a better description, and then put your block on. If you lift it up and put it on your block, it'd be very easy to sort of move it out of line. If you were then using the dies, they wouldn't necessarily, they might do, but they wouldn't necessarily match up. So where you've got especially either a large image or an image with a sort of cutout, and this goes for sentiments too, just let it drop down onto your paper and then pick it up from there. So let's give this one a go with Pacific Point. Which is very inky, but it will do the job. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this here, and then this one I'll keep with my stamp set. For those of you that follow me regularly, you'll know this is exactly what I do. Okay, just wipe that down. So nice and easy to stamp. I don't know whether, I'm trying to think what groups here in the UK, obviously a lot of people in America use baseball hats, don't they, for all their teams and things like that. So I don't know if they use them for brownies and Cubs and Scouts these days. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, let me know. So this one says Go Team. So what I'm going to do is just build these up here. So obviously you could use either the colours of ink for your team, or you could use, stamp this onto a coloured piece of card. So I'm just going to flip through these fairly quickly. Okay, oh that's interesting. So rainbows. So I know brown is obviously brown. So what colour are rainbows, Catherine? Which is pre-brownies, isn't it? I think guides might have either like a navy or a sky blue. Not sure. Okay, just going to stamp these out really quickly. Mainly, oh yes, that's right, red. Yes, now I remember. I've done card making with groups of brownies, so I should remember. Okay, I'm going to put one of these in the hat so I can see how it's going to be positioned. So this one says life is great. I'm just going to bring this down in my view. And I think I need to have it sort of in the middle, like that. Okay. Once I could have had it a little bit further down. Whether it should be further over. I might have a look in the catalogue and see if there's a better position for it. These are obviously different shapes, aren't they? So there's that. Pacific Point. Oh, and red. Well, I didn't know that. The skies always used to be like a navy, didn't it? Well, it did in my day. And then Rangers was the same. Go. So some of you might think it's odd that I'm stamping all of these out, but it actually serves two purposes. One is you get to see how it stamps and how things go together, but also it means you can check your stamps for any faults. Now very occasionally, and I have to say literally on the fingers of one hand in my 12 years, I've had a faulty stamp set, and it could just be where it hasn't pressed out of the mould properly, or it's too far over on a piece of rubber sometimes, obviously, if it wasn't aligned. So by making sure you do this, you find out if that stamp should be faulty and can get it replaced. If you bought a stamp at the end of the catalogue, for example, and left it for a little while and then tried it out, I don't know, 6 months later and found it was faulty, it may be that they're not able to replace it if they don't have that stamp available. Oh, hi Carol. So as I say, it's very unlikely, but if you just test them out, A, you get over that fear of trying them out, and B, you get them used and ready. So I'm just doing these sentiments here to the guy that wears many hats. And it also means I can put them straight onto the base sheet. This one says, "You're the best." And obviously you could use that with any other stamp set anyway. And nearly there, 2 more to go. And this one says, "Here's to the next adventure." So that would be good for somebody going to university or college. You could have their college colours, or retiring. There we go, and the final one here. Go get 'em, tiger. I'm not sure that's an expression I would use particularly. Okay, so that is our stamp set all stamped out. Okay, so you've got the outline of the baseball cap, and then you've got all of these elements you can add in and some sentiments. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do for our card today is I've got a nice of navy card base, and I've got a piece of Balmy Blue. It's actually the same size, but I'm going to trim this down. And what I thought I would do is just stamp the baseball cap all over the back, so this becomes a background, and then just add a sentiment. So nice and easy and straightforward. I might switch to Night of Navy so that it goes with my base card, and then I've got a white inner. Morning Carol. I've got both Carols with us. Lovely to have you join us, ladies. So I think what I'm going to do is put a piece of paper on my stamping mat to start with. Okay, so that I'm not getting ink all over the place. Well, I still might, but less likely. And I'm just wondering, do I put one face on, or do I have them all? I think I'm going to have them all at an angle. So because it's a big stamp, I'm definitely going to take the ink pad to the block with the stamp on it. Just going to move this to one side. Like so. That one. Now you could do this actually, I mean, might be quite nice actually in landscape. Let's change your plan. Yes, so best laid plans. So I'm going to have that one there, which is going to be complete, and then I'll have the other ones around. See what that looks like. So as I say, this is what we'll do for coffee and card on Friday. And I've got quite a few ideas for using this stamp set. Let's have... So as I say, when you use the dies with it to cut them out, obviously you can have different coloured tops and caps. Let's just try that. And the stitching is amazing. It really brings the whole thing to life. This would be good also with like a camouflage design behind it. So I'm just rotating this round. So, and so, there we go. Now what I might do is add this little star in between. That block's a bit big, isn't it? And then I'll add a layer that will have our sentiment on it. So really straightforward and simple. You could just put a star in there, but I'm actually going to put a message. Which one? I might have number 1 in there. Yes, I think I will. And let's put 1. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have this one coming off. Like so. Hopefully you can see that okay. This is a great one for stamping onto designer series paper, and I know what I'm thinking, which is the papers that I've used for the recent class, like this one here, and it's got wood grain on one side, but this would be fab because it almost looks like either a sort of scouts type thing or almost like a camouflage, isn't it? So that might be one of my selections for later in the week. So I think my number 1 I'm going to put in here. So I'm just going to see where this should fit for the best position. So yeah, that will fit in there. And you could of course colour these in. If you want to do some colouring, that would also work. Morning, Lynn. Thanks for joining us this morning while you're working. So I've got number 1. Just trying to line that up. There we go. Like so. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment onto here. So we've got I'm your number 1 fan, but I think, I mean obviously you could use these as sentiments as well. Oh, I can't decide. Oh, I've got life is, oh no. So I've got to the guy that wears many hats, or here's to the next adventure. Perhaps I'll do here's to the next adventure. Here it is. And obviously if you could use other sentiments in here, so you're not, you know, you don't have to use obviously these ones. Let's try it and see. You're the best. Oh yes, I don't think it's going to fit my panel, that one that I pre-cut, but yes, I will do that one later. I'm going to do here's to the next adventure. Thank you for the idea, Louise. And that, so I've cut this out of the stitched layered rectangles, so I'm thinking I could put that little star on there as well. Let's have a look and see. Look. Little bit of a squeeze. So if I did this one again, I might move the sentiment down, but I think that works. Like so. Could have put it in there, I suppose, either side. Okay, so I'm going to trim this layer down. And I deliberately, when I'm doing a background, I either do a complete A4 sheet or A5 sheet, and then you've got multiple backgrounds. I deliberately left this one, so I think actually I'm going to end up chopping that one up. So this is going to be 10 centimeters by 14.35. I think I'm going to cut this piece. Now, do you think I should put sentiments on, badges on the other ones? This is the question. So I've got here's to the next adventure, which I'll layer up with dimensionals. Which I could put in here or up here. Kerry says I think so. Yeah, so shall I put number 1 on all of them? I think I will. Let's find it again. So Kerry, I wonder if you've got this set. It's one that you've ordered and used. So I'll definitely do a rainbows themed one, which is red. I'll look on the internet for a photograph of the rainbows baseball cap. Okay, just add that one in. I think I can get away with leaving that one as is. There we go. So that is going to get layered onto there, and I'm going to put, oops, just damaged that edge a little bit. I'm going to pop that on the inside, and I think I will add I'm just going to add the stars in the corners. And I could put number 1, I suppose, but let's do that. Let's move on to the smaller block. It really needs a smaller one again, to be honest. Excuse me. There we go. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so let's put these layers all together. Move that out of the way in case it's got any stray ink on it. So I'm going to put this one straight down. I've got my seal here. So when you're using your seal, your best bet is always draw it towards you. Don't do it acrossways, because your hand is tends to be, I'm not saying that it is, but your hand tends to be uneven on that pressure, and that's when it can sort of go to one side or the other, and then you have a little bit more issue with it threading through. So always have it angled towards you. There we go. Let's pop these up with dimensionals. And we're done. I think I'm going to put this one flat. Like so. And then that up on dimensionals. And there we go. So some ideas I've got with this stamp set. One of the obvious things that I'm going to have to go at is using the Give It a Whirl dies and have different sentiments popping up through the cap. So you turn the wheel and you'll get different centimeters. So for example, you could have Dad, number 1, Life is Great, for example, and have those rotating. And also using the dies and mixing and matching lots of different colours and adding the stitching, and also stamping a background and then, or designing series paper, popping the stamp onto that. So lots of ideas for this week. Hi Kate. Oh, thank you, Kerry. Yeah, it's a great one for, you know, for mail cards, isn't it? So I think I'm going to put this in here. Although I'm now covering up our main image, but I think I can get away with that. Okay, there's that one there. And then I'm just going to put this on the inside. So good for anybody who lives in a baseball cap. I know quite a few people who do. Okay, so let's just centre that underneath there. Got my fingers under both sides just to keep it off the card until I'm ready, and then release it one at a time, like so. There we go, all done. So thank you for joining me this morning with our hats off. That is the stamp set, and I'll be back tomorrow. Let me just lift that up out of the light for you. Back tomorrow with a variation on this, and just after 10:30, perfect time to pop the kettle on and grab a cup of coffee. So thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another in our series using this stamp set, and I'll be introducing the dies. Thank you, Kate, Carol, Kerry, Carol, Jeanette, Lynn, Catherine, Louise. I'm hoping I haven't missed anybody. Obviously, if you haven't said hi, I might not have seen your name, so I apologise. I'm not missing you on purpose. Thank you so much, everybody. You have a good day. Take care and look after yourselves and your loved ones. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. Keep crafting. Bye for now.